Beez, I'm watching this podcast and I've had some life experience. I'm down on my luck right now where my credit cards ain't stretching too far. So my credit ain't looking the best. I have less than 100 grand in my 401k. Better yet, I might even have less than that, or less than 50. My point is, can someone like me buy a business?
100%. You're going to have less options than someone that has money and has credit and all of that, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning, I told you, I may speak to 20 companies and only acquire 2 or 3 from it, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you may be on that range, and that's because I prefer now to not pay money out of my pocket. So I choose that. Right. But once in a while, I'll come across a great deal and they're like, nah, they're not willing to be creative, blah, blah, blah. They need at least this much and the rest they'll be willing to do seller financing. All right, cool. I really want this one. And then I'll pay some money for it, right? But you don't need to. Look at the things that I explained in the few things that I gave on how to stack the deal. Seller financing. Do you need your credit for that? Not really. Some sellers do run do a PG on you, but you don't get not approved for it. It's like, oh, we just want to make sure you're PG and you agree to that. So that means they're running a credit check so you could PG so that they know that they're going to get their money. What else did I tell you? DDP, that was just a concept. What else did I say?
You talked about
revenue-based.
Revenue-based financing.
Revenue-based financing loans too. So that doesn't require credit because that was based on the history. So I didn't go, and I could also go and get a regular loan. Then that one does require credit. Mm-hmm. Or this is the biggest gem I'm giving y'all tonight. Mm-hmm. Let me precede it by saying this. In our community, we always talk about reparations. A lot of people talk about reparations. And we say, man, we didn't get our fair share. We didn't get 40 acres and a mule. But here's what happened. The people who got 40 acres and a mule, and then they used that to create businesses and real estate and all of this, and then they passed it down to the next generation in their family, and then that generation maybe is the baby boomer right now, and the baby boomer is retiring right now, and they thought they would pass it down, but the kids don't want it. Beez is swooping in and taking his reparations. Thank you for building it up for me. I'll take it now, thank you. You see what I'm saying? So that was critical for me. Now we get our reparations ourselves. We could take this back, right?
Absolutely.
In multiple ways. It doesn't matter if you're down on your luck because you can't acquire businesses with no money out of your pocket. You have more opportunity for other businesses once you start building up your revenue. But now you have an actual path. I'd never understood. I used to say, how you got $10,000 to put out on a house? Like, where'd you get $10,000 from altogether? This was me in college. Couldn't figure this out. Nobody had an answer.
Yeah.
You know, now you can actually get a business that's getting cash flow. You could use that to get another one. You could keep acquiring more. And if you do it my way, you don't have to work in it. And then you keep going until you have hundreds of millions in assets under management and eventually to $1 billion.
So basically, if you want to learn how to purchase a business through a leveraged buyout strategy where it's no money out of your pocket, and you don't have to work out of it once you're done, talk to Beez. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, he does teach you more than that. But if that's something that you want, talk to Beez, because that is almost like putting turbo packs on you while you're walking down your path. He's gonna blast you straight through it. So the reason why I asked if someone down on their luck could do this, because now that means if you're up on your luck, or if you're doing all right for yourself, it should be a no-brainer. If someone down on their luck could do it, oh, there we go. If someone down on their luck could do it, you should be able to do it, and it's a no-brainer. And the reason why I said this is because for my real estate investors and wholesalers and people like that, it's the same principle. The same principle. Not to mention, you could also buy a business to help increase your real estate portfolio anyway, or buy a business to get into commercial real estate, because now you got more money to play with, and it was never your money in the first place. Come on now. I hope y'all seeing what we're talking about. I hope you're seeing what we're talking about. So this is getting me excited. But let me ask you this, Beez, because I know you got to get ready to run soon. Is there any question that we didn't ask you that you would love to dive into, or that you wish we did so that you could tell somebody?
I mean, you kind of asked it too, but one thing that's important for people to understand is, what type of business to acquire. And we kind of touched on that, but that's a question I get a lot. Well, I don't even know which type of business to acquire, and show some people pieces of my deal board, right? Because I have a whole deal board full of potential acquisitions, and I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of acquisition targets that
literally
reviewing literally. And my mind gets blown every day when I start scrolling through the qualified leads after they've sourced it and vetted it and whatnot. I'm like, oh wait, water treatment business? What is this? Oh, wait, I can't even think of them right now, because some of them I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
So many businesses for sale, and so many that are good acquisition targets in terms of the financials and everything.
Yeah.
But the key is that you have to reduce your or create your own acquisition criteria. I'm only going to go for businesses in this state or these states, and at this revenue level, this price point, maybe only these industries, et cetera, right? Now, again, this is why I said we kind of touched on this slightly in the beginning, is because I'm focused. It's not for me about, oh, what type of business to buy, Beez? Oh yeah, go get a laundromat. No, it's about what type of business to buy, Beez. Any business that the numbers look good and can be turnkey, so you don't got work in it, and opportunity to scale.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
So that tends to be my laundromats, my car washes, a pest control company, a landscaping company. Sometimes a landscaping company, depends on where. Tow truck company. I'm starting to look into gas stations now. The club was a vanity purchase. I wouldn't have done that one, but it's kind of cool to say I'm a club owner too. So
yeah.
But that's it, man.
And so with that being said, y'all, I want to give y'all an example of this real quick. So Bill Gates worked in Microsoft for years, and he became the richest man in the world. And then what he did at that time is he transitioned from the CEO to a board member. But as a board member, he was still able to vote, make decisions, and still get paid from the business of Microsoft. What Beez is doing, just so y'all can understand, he is Bill Gates in the board member section. And what he's doing is he's looking to collect multiple businesses to acquire the wealth equivalent to a Microsoft or whatever company you could think of. So that's the best way I can help you think of this. And as a board member, that requires you to think different, to do more for your family, and think further beyond the line, or down the line, I should say. So, and from his story, we heard him leverage mentors. We heard him leverage money. We heard him leverage. Is there anything else that you leverage that you might want to share? Your points of leverage that you might have had?
So mentors, money, and credit, and ultimately is knowledge.
Yes,
I'm getting
yes.
knowledge from the mentors and such, but ultimately it was knowledge. So you already know, Hassani, that I got 4 pillars of success, right?
Yes.
Networking being the first one. You got to get out there, you got to meet people, and it's not just who you know, but who knows you as well. Leaving some people behind. That's similar to when people say, hey, surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you might become the 6th. But I think actively leave some people behind. I had to leave my brother behind. We weren't on the same journey, but I still love him. But he was the type that's, no, don't buy that. Don't spend money on that course. Don't take money out your 401k. Leave them behind. Follow your journey. Next, you got to buy seats at tables. We spoke about that on today. We were talking about the mentor, right? I was willing to pay for mentorship. That's buying a seat at a table. But while you're doing these things, buying seats at tables and then networking, and you already left some people behind, you got to also build your own table. So this led to the 4 pillars: building your own table with other like-minded people that's, in the right environments, right? Because you already left the bad ones behind. So this led to the 4 pillars. And then I added a foundation. So I built a house. I added a foundation of financial literacy, but then on top, I added always seeking knowledge, right? So that's how it comes to what you were asking, because always seeking knowledge was the most important thing for me. I'll give y'all one last example about it is Donald Trump the other day. He buried his wife, his ex-wife, I'm sorry, his ex-wife on his one of his golf courses. And this was shortly after, I think, shortly after his stuff had got seized from Mar-a-Lago because you know, he took stuff out of the White House or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then he buried her on a different golf course. Why are you telling me this, Beez? Well, because Donald Trump always sought knowledge and found out from his accountant or whoever that, yeah, if you do that, then your property is immediately classified as a cemetery and it cannot be seized. There's no property tax, there's no estate tax, no whatever. So he used this, he sought knowledge, then used that knowledge in order to excel. And we all got to do it.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, everybody, this concludes a phenomenal episode of the SSD podcast, Spend the Same Dollar Twice podcast. But before we exit, we got to ask, Beez, how can people find you? How can they catch up with you? How can they link up with you? Please let us know.
For sure. So the best way on social media, which I hate, is Instagram. You can look for Business Builder Beez, and that's with a Z, B-E-E-Z. Right. And I had to say it slowly like that because there's a lot of fake pages too that'll say Business Builders Beez.
Yeah.
Right. So Business Builder Beez. You can also go to the Business Builders Institute.com. You could also look me up on LinkedIn, Bjorn Beez Hendricks. Tap in.
All right. And by the way, y'all, so what's going to happen is if you say, you know what, not only do I hear what they're talking about and I want to take my life to another level, we'll have his link below where you could check out his BBI Institute as well. So you can learn the details of buying businesses, investigating businesses, learning about the profits and the losses and all those type of things and taking your life to the next level. So you could be a board member too. So with that being said, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time. We're going to go ahead and sign out, everybody. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Let's go.